really quiet today. He
Yeah.
didn't say boo.
So we are live. We are live on YouTube. Two Guys, One Cup. Sean and Rock.
Live on YouTube.
Whoa. Well, that's on YouTube. There we go.
Was that me?
That was us. I had my volume on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just wanted to see.
So we are experimenting here. This is a new venture for us. We're experimenting on some stuff here.
This is similar to LSD, I guess. You know, I always thought that that's what I would experiment with, but
yes,
YouTube instead.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that we're on YouTube.
I can't wait to see our first chat. Your father uses YouTube, right?
Yes, he does. So he can actually. I might have to temper my language now. He might not be thrilled about when he hears me curse like a truck driver.
We may have to bring him on camera and see if he'll do a little dance for us, a little Fred
Astaire. He might. He really might. I'm
just trying to
never know. You never know. What is our tag on YouTube? Just so we know. So I know.
I don't know. I just copied and pasted. It's Two Guys, One Cup featuring Sean and Rock.
Okay, I saw that. Oh, we are. Look at that. That's so cool.
Two Guys, One Cup.
Oh, I did the same thing you did.
Yep. Yeah, like I set this up a while ago, and when I remember when we tried to use it, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. This is something interesting. It's a new thing, new venture that we can play around with.
Yeah.
Did you put the link in our group?
Yeah.
People can get right to our show.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Yes.
To tell them to subscribe now.
We have 25 subscribers.
Yeah, that's cool. So listen, I was on last night on Facebook. If you didn't hear me rant and rave last night, go to our group, our Facebook.
I don't think
page.
anyone's in here yet.
Well, and they'll go back and listen to it if they do.
No, this doesn't save.
Oh
wait, no, it'll save on. Actually, it'll save
in our group. Yeah,
right,
it'll save on YouTube. Yeah. So go back and listen to me rant and rave last night. It was good. I was on for about an hour and 20 minutes.
Right.
It was you know better than anybody. It's very hard. Oh, Liam Scott is our first person commenting on YouTube for us. Congratulations, Liam. Thank you.
Liam, you're a friend of the show.
Hit that subscribe button. I've always wanted to do that.
smash the subscribe button.
I can't tell you how many times my kids have watched either The Wiggles or something on TV, and hit the subscribe button down below. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to say that one day.
In Two Guys, One Cup fashion, teabag the subscribe button.
There you go.
Hover over your laptop and teabag the subscribe button. That's the only way to do it here for Two Guys, One Cup.
Yes, that's the way it goes. So everyone heard me rant and rave last night. I want to know, and I think I do know, what is your... Oh, he's in Thailand. Liam.
Thailand.
Wow. Woo.
One night in Bangkok.
That's nice. I want to know.
Are you on the White Lotus, Liam?
I didn't watch the last episode, so don't ruin anything for me.
Right, this season it's in Thailand.
Yeah, it is in Thailand.
yeah, pretty sure it's Thailand.
Pretty sure it's Thailand. Yeah. People heard me rant and rave. What is Sean Stein's opinion of what's gone down this past week? I want to hear it.
So what's gone down? What did I miss something?
Well, I mean, Ryan Lindgren got traded. Yeah. Riley Smith got traded.
All beautiful things.
Carson Soucy got acquired.
That's Kaiser Soze to you.
Who's Kaiser Soze? Is that really how he's supposed to be pronounced?
You have no idea who Kaiser Soze is?
No, who is he?
Oh, come on.
Who is he? Seriously.
You never saw the movie Usual Suspects from the 90s? Kevin Spacey, like an ensemble cast.
God.
Huge cult classic from the 90s.
I have not seen that movie, and that's probably bad on my part. But I have not seen it.
That is a classic. So Kevin Spacey basically plays like 30-year later, spoiler alert here. Kevin Spacey plays a character who's supposed to be like this, like a gimp, essentially. Mm-hmm. Like a very simple, like a simpleton. And it winds up he's not. He's Kaiser fucking Soze. I can't believe you've never heard the term Kaiser Soze.
No. I will now have to go and watch that movie when I have some time.
It's a great movie.
So I will.
I probably have it on DVD if you'd like to borrow it.
I have to see if my DVD player still works. Uh, yeah. So a lot's gone down.
How
do you feel? Well, let me ask you this question. Let's just start with this. If you're going to give Chris Drury a grade for this season so far,
for the season,
because I don't want to, what would you give him?
I judge Drury a lot differently than you do. A lot differently.
I think you're going to be surprised what I'm going to tell you, but I want to know what yours is first.
I truly give Drury a B. And I'll tell you why. It was very clear that right after the season ended last season, he wanted to change things with the team.
Right.
So his objective. So I have to go based on Drury's job performance. And he got rid of the bad contract in Goudreau, despite how unpopular it would be. He did everything he could to get rid of Trouba before the trade deadline. Before free agency. Trouba blocked it. There's nothing Drury could do about that. So
yeah, there was something he could have done. He could have put him on waivers July 1st.
So he would have done that same thing to two people.
Okay, keep going.
Unpopular, but
right.
Again, he didn't get an A+. He got a B. He got rid of two really bad contracts without retaining a penny. He got back Urho Vakanainen, who now just got re-signed for 2 more years, and is going to be a part of this team for 3 seasons now. At the very least, we would think.
Yeah.
Whether that's as the 6th defenseman, the 5th defenseman, or the 7th
defenseman.
Whatever he is. He's
right. Exactly.
Listen, if he's the 6th, I got no problem with that.
I have no problem with it either. No, he's played really well.
So I'm good with it. So it's everything that he's kind of done. I mean, I know you want to hate on the Riley Smith thing. Served his role, put up 30 points. Is what it is. Do I think that the season went sideways because of the roster construction? No. And ultimately, that's Drury's job, is to construct the roster. You have shown your anger more towards the people in the room as opposed to Drury. You've called the team gutless, cowardly, this, that, and the other thing.
Right.
That doesn't fall on the GM.
No.
That falls on the players.
Right.
And their reaction to the moves that were unpopular by the GM.
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm sitting here, like, if I take all the players' feelings and everything out of it, if I'm like running a franchise mode on NHL, on a video game, every move that he made is what everyone would have done as far as getting rid of those contracts. Now, you don't want to say that he hasn't been imaginative enough to bring in other guys. Like, for instance, Dylan Cousins got traded today. I think Dylan Cousins is a guy a lot of us would have liked to have gotten.
Mm-hmm.
It would have taken Lafreniere to get him. I mean, Ottawa traded Josh Norris to get him. He was a good player. I mean, Scott Fat is a 30 goal scoring center when he's
healthy. Right.
But when he's healthy, he's an effective player.
Right.
Did Drury have the gumption? I'm going to use the word gumption to pull off a trade to try and get Cousins today? No, he didn't. Again, but this is why he's getting a B and not an A. Does he deserve a C or an F? I don't think so. I think he's done a much better job. He hasn't made any stupid decisions that are hamstringing us in the future. I think he's doing everything with an eye toward the future. He has turned over half this roster this year. Half of it.
Right.
Can't turn over the guys with no move clauses. So those guys can't be turned over. Kreider got hurt. So he's here. And he's not going anywhere. I don't think there was any interest in him with the injury. So that's where I stand on Drury. I think I give him a B.
Sorry, I'm fixing my camera here. It's really bad. It's really bad on my part. There we go. You're gonna think I'm crazy here, when I tell you this right now. I'm giving him an A.
Wow.
And I'm gonna tell you why. JT Miller.
Okay.
Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Plain and simple, Sean. That is why, in my opinion, he gets that grade. Because with that guy single-handedly has resurrected this franchise to their even the chance of them making the playoffs. And without him, they are not even sniffing it.
It's true.
So I think it's very difficult. As you very well know, I'm not a Drury fan. I don't absolve him of a lot of things that he's done. I don't absolve him for his off seasons, which you and I've talked about, and we both said, I've said, and I think you agree that there's a lot of heavy lifting that's going to need to be done this summer. And I'm scared because he has not had good off seasons. His off seasons have been very blah and boring and nonchalant. And where I get angry with him was, not where I can't say, right, I shouldn't say that. Let me rephrase that. I can't get angry with him because he did everything he felt he could do. He gave this team, the team won the President's Trophy last year. He said, all right, you know what? I can't get rid of these guys. I'm giving this team one final shot. I bring in Riley Smith because I have no other alternative. He's the only person I can bring in for the salary number that I need to be at. So I'm going to bring in, again, a guy that's pigeonholed into, like we talked about, 2-3 years ago, where they needed to bring in a center who was making what Ryan Strome was making in that vicinity, right. $5.5 million in that vicinity. And the same thing with Riley Smith. He had to bring in a forward that was making under $3 million. So he pigeonholed himself to a number that needed to be done. He needed some salary cap flexibility. And that's what he did. He went into the season. So getting back to what I was saying was, it's very difficult to turn over a roster. He turned over this roster. Figure, the Trouba trade happened December 5th or December 6th.
Something like that.
He changed over almost a quarter of this roster?
I think more than that, no?
Or half this roster in 3 months, 4 months? It's pretty incredible. December 6th, January 6th, 3 months. He changed over half the roster. I mean, when was the last time you seen an offseason that you weren't tanking or not tanking or rebuilding where you turned over half your roster? I mean, I've never seen an offseason where there were trades almost every month for significant people.
Right.
What I will blame him for, now for this season, he gets an A for what he's done up until this point.
Right.
Where he's really going to get judged, for me specifically, is what he does from July 1st on. Because we all know, as presently constituted, and you and I went through, we did this exercise last show. Kreider's probably coming back. Zibanejad's probably coming back. Trocheck's coming back. Panarin's coming back. Fox is coming back. And then we know Soucy, Borgen, and Vakanainen are coming back. Sjorkin's coming back. So really, how many holes does this team have as presently constituted?
Right.
Where he's going to be judged is who he's moving out and who he's bringing in. And I keep hearing that we're waiting for 2 years, waiting for McDavid, waiting for Eichel. You can't start that shit. Don't even go down that road.
I don't think he is.
So we need to get better now. And I think it starts with trading with Keandre Miller, which we'll get to later on. But I think he's going to get graded on July 1st. Like I said, where I blame him and what I kill him for has nothing to do with this season and the offseason. It's what he did at the trade deadline. That's where he has failed as a general manager. He was a chicken because he didn't want to give up Offman or Kakko. Think about it, Sean. He winds up giving away Kakko for a second, which could be a third pairing defenseman within the next 3 years. That's what he gave Kakko away for. Well, no, we can't trade Kakko for Vertrano and Adam Henrique. We can't trade Kakko for the deal for Gensel. I mean, we're going to revisit. I said this last night on the Facebook. You and I are going to revisit that trade for Gensel this summer. We're going to look at where those players are that were so great from Carolina that the Rangers couldn't match the package they got.
Can I play devil's advocate for that for a second? And I still agree with you. I still feel, especially at this point, that they should have made the trade. But now, where things could have gone horribly different, and you tell me if it would be horribly different or if you'd rather have it the way it is. Mm-hmm. They get Gensel.
Right.
Say he does put us over the top and we make it to the Stanley Cup Finals last year.
Okay.
They sign him to the deal he got and stays. We don't have JT Miller. Would you rather have Jake Gensel or Miller? Knowing what we know now about this roster.
I guess knowing what we know right now, then I guess I'd rather have JT Miller.
Right.
But we need JT Miller and we need Jake Gensel. That's the problem.
But that's my point is
That's the problem, Sean, is we're not just JT Miller's a good starting point. The problem is you need JT Miller plus. You need a plus on. I mean, like we talked about, not only does this team need another forward. Look, I mean, I said it last night. I mean, if Chris Kreider coming back, I mean, this third line is right now is presently constituted. It's awful. Awful. With Brzezinski and Parsnip.
They need a 3C. They don't have a 3C right on this roster.
Well, I mean, what's the plan for Parson then? If he's not going to be a third line center,
he's gonna play third line. He's gonna play that role right now. But again, he's a piece that they got in a trade. I don't think that he was necessarily, hey, this is the guy. This is the future. We'll see. He's going to get an opportunity.
You know how they wind up getting. You know how they might have been able to possibly get Miller, is if they put Kreider on waivers, which I don't know if they would have done. If they had gotten Gensel, shedded themselves of Trouba, and that's the way they wouldn't be able to get Miller. They would have had to shed this contract. I'm just saying. I mean, there probably could have been a way. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that was the way. I know you and I both talked about Zibanejad. Them. I think they're going to try to move one of those guys. I think this offseason they're going to try, because to me, guys, right now they have $13.7 million in cap space for next season.
Right.
They need to have a backup goalie. They need to sign Miller. They need to sign Cooley. They need to sign Edstrom. They need to sign Rempe. And that's and they still, I think, have some roster spots that aren't filled. So
other than DeAndre Miller, nobody there is making more than $1.5 million.
I don't bank on Cooley making $1.5 million.
He's not going to get paid. What you think? He doesn't have arbitration rights yet.
I think he's going to get more than $1.5 million. I think he's going to get 2.5. He's going to get more than what Lafreniere and Kakko got out of their entry level contracts. He put up better numbers.
Round pick.
But it doesn't matter. Sure, he's put up better numbers. No, it doesn't matter. He's put up better numbers than both of those guys.
We'll see. We
will see.
I'll bet you he doesn't get over 2. That there's a 1.
I bet you he gets over 2.5. But that's fine.
There's the bet. We'll make the bet at just 1 or 2. I'll even let you come down to 2.
Okay. You think he's going to make under $2 million?
Yes.
I don't see that, but that's just me. What if he finishes the season with 20 goals?
I still stand by it.
I don't believe that. Let's be fair. When has it ever come in less than what we thought? What player?
It's coming right around what I've thought on most of these guys. Keandre Miller, everyone thought was going to get like $5 million.
Wait. You thought Shesterkin's first contract was going to be 5.7? No,
Shesterkin, I was wrong. That one I was very wrong about.
What about Keandre Miller's last contract?
Miller, I was the one saying that he was going to get around what he got. People were thinking he was going to get $5-6 million on the last one.
No, I never thought that. I think you and I thought. I think we thought he was going to come in less. I thought every time you've talked about contracts, that they thought it would come in.
I've usually been pretty close within
a few $100,000, but it's usually a few $100,000 more than what we thought. It's not less. It's never less. It's never less than what we thought. That's my point. It's always more, right? Isn't it always been more? It's never been less.
I can't think of someone where I'm like, oh, that was more than what I thought it was going to be. I can't think of that.
No, but like I said, I mean, we talked about Kakko, we talked about Lafreniere. I sent you the thing last night. Did you see the JJ Peterka rumors?
No,
Frank Saravelli started that?
I had a game.
So Frank Saravelli, I don't know. This is what I was sending you last night. Frank Saravelli put out a thing that the Rangers were having these massive discussions.
Deep discussions.
Deep discussions for JJ Peterka.
Right.
The French Levon, what's his name?
Renaud Levon.
He piggybacked that.
Yes.
So now that was 2 guys.
Right.
Staple
killed it.
All of a sudden came out of nowhere like an assassin and shot it down. It died instantly, Sean. It wasn't even mentioned once today.
Because it was just clickbait by those other 2 guys. It was just.
You think Saravelli's a clickbait guy?
They all are.
I don't think so. I think their reputations are more important than being clickbait. They want to be right. They don't want. That's an embarrassment on them because they were really off. And the thing that, like I said, that shocked me today was Larry Brooks was nowhere to be found.
Well, because there were no moves.
But you would think he would have had some kind of indication that they weren't going to do anything. I mean, to have nothing to say.
But then, what does that do for the rest of the New York Post, right? For Molly and everyone else that's trying to get content out there, is trying to get clicks.
Well, none of
Bad
them
for
have.
business.
Neither of them.
It's
had
bad
anything
for
in.
business for Brooks to say that
Molly didn't have
today.
anything. Molly didn't have anything coming out either.
Oh no, she didn't. All right.
Nothing. She had nothing.
I was on the
Vince had
road
nothing.
all day today, so
I was on the road a lot today too. So I had my phone. I had NHL radio on. I was kind of bouncing around. So there wasn't a lot to go on. I mean, Cobell. I mean, poor Eric Brandstrom. Man, oh man. I mean, that's. I feel bad for this kid. I mean, really, traded 4 times in 1 year. He's not that bad. And I don't get Cobell signing unless Drury's thinking long term for Hartford. And we've seen him bring in those type of players, those Anton Bleeds, those Riley Nashes, those type of guys into Hartford.
I think it was just to get what's his name out of here.
Brandstrom?
Yeah. I think it was just to give him an opportunity.
Do him a favor. Yeah, and he's young. He's a young guy, and he's only 25.
Right.
I was shocked that Zach Jones wasn't traded, but I guess you need him right now. You need him. I mean, if you're going to trade him for a 3rd-round pick, what kind of message that sent to the team when Fox is hurt, and right now he's your quarterback on your power play, and there's really no one else.
No, because it would be Miller, and that would be a disaster.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed. Sean, at first I sat back and I was like, all right, well, it's been quiet. They haven't done anything. Maybe they're gonna, because I remember the first year you and I did the trade deadline, they made the Justin Braun trade earlier in the day, and then all of a sudden there was nothing, and Domi was coming off the board, and another guy was coming off the board, and we're like, what the fuck's going on? And we turned to each other because we did a live show that day. It's like, it's got to be Cop, right? It's got to be Cop. And all of a sudden, the Cop trade and the Tyler Mott trade came down. And I kind of thought maybe there was something. When Cousins got traded, I kind of felt like that was probably the end for the Peterka rumors. I kind of thought that maybe that was it for that. I didn't think they were going to move 2 guys out. And then the later it went on, and then the Rangers weren't saying anything. Like, we weren't hearing about Drury's press conference. I said, so they must be doing something. And then obviously the Cobell thing came out, and I was like, all right. I guess that's what it is. But it was disappointing. And then at first I was a little annoyed. I was like, I'm looking at the Devils got worse. Carolina got worse. The teams behind us gave everything away. I mean, it's really between us, Detroit, and Columbus, and maybe Ottawa. I mean, they did nothing to help this team forward themselves at all, other than Carson Soucy, who's essentially a bottom 4 defenseman. And I'm like, but then I said, you know what? It is what it is. Even if they just missed the playoffs, Sean, they're not going to get it. It's not going to be a lottery pick. We're not going to have to worry about a lottery pick next year. It is what it is. Ride it out and see what happens, and reload in the offseason. Save your bullets. There wasn't anybody out there you're like, I have to have this guy. So
here's where I sit on it. They're playing really well. They have the 2nd best record in the league since January 1st.
Okay.
So Zibanejad is playing great.
Mm-hmm.
Miller's playing great. The goaltending, some nights it's really good, sometimes it's not. They're playing much better team defense. It's like, why upset the apple cart? Because right now the team is actually playing better than the sum. The sum of the parts is playing better than, what's the term? Like, they're playing better.
I know what you mean. Than the sum of their parts.
It's like, why upset the roster right now by bringing in a cog? Like, everyone's kind of, they went through a trauma, obviously, in November. November, December.
But why would they bring in a cog, Sean? They just brought in 15 new guys. And
that are all role players. They didn't bring in anyone to play in the top 6. They didn't bring in a top pair.
Well, they brought in Miller to play in the top 6.
Oh, I'm saying after that. But the team
only a
established
month
a new
ago.
identity when he got here.
Right.
Because all of a sudden, Trocheck went from being, hey, I'm down here. Yeah, I talk to the media, and then all of a sudden, Miller's here, and this is his boy. Now he's he's the spokesman of the team now, Trocheck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's become the Pittsburgh kids. They're the two new leaders of the team. This is their team. They run it.
Right.
And so Zibanejad, is probably more comfortable taking a back seat. Sure, he is more comfortable that way. Even Panarin, Panarin's trying to find his way. It's like all these guys are now trying to find their way into where they fit on this roster. And I know that the Panarin line didn't produce the last couple of games really, but they played a lot better, in my opinion. I guess as a team, like they played again.
I thought that was Lafreniere's best game in a month.
Yeah, well, how vicious was that fucking back check?
But I just think that it was the best. It was the best he's played in a month.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that now that the trade deadline is over, that these guys loosen up a little bit more. That there's no fear of being traded. Now it could also revert the other way. Now there's no fear of being traded. Now we can exhale, and it could be a shit show. But I will tell you that this weekend is going to be indicative of where this season's going to go.
I agree.
They come out flat to Ottawa, and they shit the bed this weekend. I mean, honestly, I don't know what to say anymore at that point.
See, it's like I have to use both sides of this with this Ottawa game. On a human level, it's a tough fucking spot. You're flying to Canada for a 12:30 game for one day, and then getting back on a plane after the game, coming back and playing again on Sunday, 6:00. It's like they had 2 days off. Why this? Why are they going to Canada for one day and coming back? It's a really, really weird situation. I know it's like, oh well, it's only a hour and 20-minute flight. It's not that. You're still going through, even though you're on a charter, you're still going through customs. You're still doing the whole fucking thing. It's a pain in the ass. It is. Right. I know it seems trivial. These guys, they're high paid and this and that, but still, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I get it.
But they've run out of the opportunities to say, oh well, that was a pain in the ass game. Throw that one away. They don't have those luxuries anymore.
No. So
they're going to have to go out there and they're going to have to make sure they get at a very minimum 3 points out of the weekend.
Right.
They
have to start giving these other teams that are chasing them no hope. And that's really what it comes down to. You need to start knocking these guys out, teams out.
Well, and
not only that, it's like the fucking Devils. I mean, the Devils are and this is what drives me fucking crazy. Is if they just would have figured this shit out sooner, they would not be in this position. And it fucking drives me nuts because I don't care. Washington to me is beatable. If they could have just.
But that's
it's a loss. Sean, this could turn out to be a lost season, and they're going to kick themselves in the ass.
But
this probably would have been the easiest road to the fucking. That these teams are none of them are good.
I know.
None of them.
I know.
Other than Florida.
And Tampa. Tampa just all of a sudden loaded again.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think Tampa's still.
Those three teams are going to kick the shit out of each other.
Probably.
Those three teams are going to kick the shit out of each other.
Right.
And honestly, and then what's going to be left? It's not going to be like last year when Florida had 2 easy playoff series to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. They are going to have to go through 2 very good teams.
Yep.
Probably out of the 4 teams that are in,
they're the 3 best.
The 3 best.
Yes, I agree.
Even though Washington's had a better record, it's like us last year. 0 respect. Right? We were the President's Trophy winners, but nobody thought we could win the Cup.
Right.
Nobody picked us. Same thing with Washington. I don't think anyone's picking them to win. And then the West, all loaded up. They're going to kick the shit out of each other. And then what's going to be left for them at that point?
The winner of the Metro is going to win the Cup.
Maybe. It's just very disheartening. And like you said, you've said this better than anybody else. You want to be in it. You don't never know when you're going to be back there. You never know what can happen in a playoff series. This, that, and the other thing. You want to just be in it. The problem is that even if they're in it, I just don't think they even have the horses to get very far with this roster.
I do.
I
I
do
definitely
not.
do.
They
Especially
need,
with they
and
just
I'll
sit
tell you
on
right now, they
defense.
need Edstrom back.
And he might be back by the playoffs.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't even know if he's skating yet.
But I mean, all of a sudden, now you look at our defense in a playoff series, and it looks a lot different.
I know, Sean, but let's be fair. I mean, listen, I like Vakanainen too. I like Borgen. We don't know what these guys are going to be. None of them have really played significant playoff games. None of these guys. I know Schneider has. I know Miller has. I know Fox
Susie
has. And
has.
how well have
Susie
they
has.
done?
Susie
Where, for
has.
Vancouver?
Kaiser
Because
Soze?
he played for Seattle for 2
Minnesota?
years prior than that.
He was with Minnesota.
I gotta look at his playoff statistics. Because I'll tell you right now, his last 2 years in Vancouver have been awful.
Just this year. Just this year's been awful. Last year
he only played 40 games last year. How come? Do we know why? I saw that. He only played 40 games last year.
Yeah, obviously he was.
I don't know why.
I'm going to assume he was hurt.
I'm assuming he was hurt. Again, I don't.
I heard today.
guessing
I
he's
heard
hurt.
them talking about him today on NHL radio.
They
and
did?
it said, yeah,
I didn't hear them mention him once.
yeah, this morning on Gord Stellick's show.
Oh, that's probably why, because it happened last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
They loved him. Who was it that was talking about it? The former player, the former defenseman, said they absolutely loved that the Rangers got this guy today.
So Gunner, who's in our group, he'll
Yeah.
probably go back and listen to this, hopefully on YouTube. He's from BC, British Columbia. He
Okay.
hated it. He said his buddy in Vancouver was laughing that we acquired him.
Yeah, but people in Vancouver are retarded, so it's fine.
Well, I'm just saying. That just goes to show you the how other teams value other teams, where the fan base could give or take or leave certain guys,
Right.
and he was definitely a guy that you could leave. So
you
We'll
want
see
to
what
talk?
happens.
So his playoffs, he played for. So he played in 12 playoff games for Minnesota over 3 years. I think that they were one and done each year, so that's
Mhm.
why they got swept and swept and swept.
right,
14 games for Seattle in their during their playoff run,
hmm
and 12 for Vancouver last year in their playoff run. So he had 5 points in 12 games last season, 2 points in 14 games the season before that, but he was a +6 in 14 games. And then the ones before that was Minnesota, no points.
hmm we'll see. Listen, we'll see. It's a very low risk trade. You had an extra third round pick. You moved it. It's cost certainty for next season again, which
Right.
Jury loves. He loves to know what these guys are making. He likes bringing these guys in at a certain number. He's a cheap option.
Smart. It's smart.
It is smart.
Especially
And-
after you've made the
and-
comment 1,000 times of
Right,
this team only has one defenseman under contract next year. And now
And-
that's not the case.
And the big thing too is if he stinks, you can move him.
Yes.
He's still movable.
Yes.
So, he's going to be a UFA, and you move him.
Right.
So it's not the end of the world. I didn't love it. I've never heard anything really great about him. I've only heard negative things. Again, secondhand information. I've never watched him play, so I don't want. I'm gonna reserve my own personal opinion for the next 20 games, and
Right.
I'm gonna give you my opinion of him come the off season or the end of our run or whatever happens. I'm gonna give you my opinion about all the guys.
He's an upgrade over Calvin DeHaan.
Yes.
And that's all I needed him
Yes.
to
Yes. Yeah, he is. And I don't think DeHaan was. I think he got better as that Washington game went on. I thought he was more exposed in the beginning. And like you said, he had his pocket picked twice, which
be. Yeah.
I don't really see defensemen that happen very often.
It happened twice on the
So
same
it
shift.
happened to him on the same shift. Was it the same shift? Or
I think
two
so.
shifts? Or it was 2 shifts back to back. It might have
Maybe
been.
that's what it was.
Might have been what it was, if I
Yeah.
remember.
It felt
And
like
then,
it was the same shift.
Yeah. And then what's it called? And then I thought he settled in. He had 2 really nice blocked shots. I thought he played better as the game went on. And listen, if a guy goes down, there's worse guys you could have. So
Yes.
I'm not really too concerned. If he's playing a lot of minutes, we're in trouble. So
Right. I'd rather have
It is
Calvin
what it
DeHaan
is.
than Ben Harper. if that's
Yeah, or
the type
Connor
of
Mackey
right.
or Brandon Scanlon or
Correct.
someone like that.
Correct.
And listen, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if DeHaan has a very good season to end it if he's back next year for minimum.
Might be.
I wouldn't put it past this team. They've done it before. It's not going to be. It's the devil you know, right?
They
So
love the devil they know.
they love the devil they know. Were you surprised that you didn't hear more about Kreider getting traded?
No, because he's hurt.
Because there was some chatter around that there was a possibility he might get moved.
Yeah, but I think that was just people speculating. I don't think that there was ever any like actual shopping. I'm
If you
sure
had a,
teams kicked the tire, to see if we were desperate.
all right, if you're desperate, if you just want to shed the money, 2 more years at $6.5
Because they're
million.
not going to do that.
So they're not. So they're not desperate to move.
I know they're not. I'm saying I'm sure that
Well,
there were teams that kicked the tires to see if we were.
Well, I'm only asking that is because if they're desperate to move salary cap space,
I don't think
then
they
at
are. I
some
think he wants to
point
just
they
get
are
better.
going to be desperate.
But why?
Well, let me ask you this question: how much does Keandre Miller get in this offseason?
It's the biggest mystery that there is.
If you're the GM, so you've been good with these numbers. What do you think he's going to get? 5.5?
Probably between 5 and 5.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if they gets $5.5 million, they have 13.7
But only on a
million.
2-year deal. Like he's
Or it might even be a 1-year deal.
might even be one.
If he
yeah.
gets a $5.5 million right now, he is going to eat up half of their remaining cap space. So that doesn't include Cooley and Rempe and a backup goalie and a 7th defenseman and Zach Jones, whichever they decide to do.
Right. So
How are they doing that?
All guys are going to make around $1 million.
Okay. All right. So if Rempe, Cooley, that's $5 million. And there's still probably roster spots that they're going to need to replace. What am I saying? Thank you for that. I'm just trying to think who's on the team right now. Top 2 lines are set. Oh, Parsons coming back. That might have been with him on the. No, he's our RFA also, and so is Kaliev, by the way. All those guys are RFAs. And if they all come back for $1 million, Sean, you don't have enough money. Even if they all come back for $1 million, you don't have enough money. So
then they won't all be back.
Or they won't all be back, or they're going to trade Keandre Miller.
I mean, some of them can come back and be sent down to Hartford.
Yeah. Well, what I think, and I talked about this last night. I said they need to get the best skating coach money can buy. I'm serious, and you're smiling, but I'm dead ball serious. Get Kaliev on the ice, get Parson on the ice, and say, all I want you to do this offseason is learn how to get fucking faster and get better on your skates. That's it. No other thing you need to do. You guys know how to skate. They both have great hands. They both have decent shots. Kaliev has a better shot. I think Parson has nice hands. They can't skate. That is the one thing you can fix. Get those guys to both guys skating coaches and move on. That's my rant.
We all love it.
I know. I just think that if this team has any hope of winning a championship, I mean, unless they're planning on again running it back again next year with what you see at the end of this season, I don't know. I just don't know what they're going to do. I don't see them bring. I think either Kreider or Zibanejad are gone. I think they'd rather get rid of Zibanejad, obviously, because the money and the contract is longer. But I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. That's why this offseason, and I was joking. I don't think I sent you the text, but I was going to send you a text where it said
Berard and Othman are both under contract for next season.
Okay, so that's a positive.
And so is what's his name? Well, what's his name will be under contract for next season for under $1 million. Perreault. So that's 3 guys that are.
Any chance he goes back? Any chance he goes back for his junior year? Kreider went back for his junior year.
These guys don't do it anymore, especially now Ryan Leonard's leaving. So all his freshman guys he went in with will all be gone. Will Smith already left. Leonard is leaving as soon as the season ends this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to join the Capitals.
Okay.
So what's he's going to stay and just be the old guy on? He's going to be the Blutarski. You know,
I'm just throwing it out there.
yeah.
You know, I'm
No,
just throwing it
I
out
don't
there. I think he'll leave too this summer.
got nothing else to
And
prove.
I honestly think that and again, and he may come out this year if the Rangers is. Let me ask you this: you think he plays this season?
I think it's 50-50. I really do.
Do you think it's contingent on where the team is? If do you think
No,
if they're making a
it's
playoff run, he
if he
doesn't
if
play,
if
or
he's smart, he tells them straight up that he's either going to sign now and that they have to bring him up so that it burns a year off his ELC. You know, you want to get he wants to get to restricted free agency as soon as possible so he can get paid.
Mhm.
Sign me now, burn my year, even if it's for 3-4 games, whatever. You know, if I play in the playoffs, I do. If I don't, I don't.
Right.
Or if it comes down to next year, he's going to only want to take a 2-year ELC. And then he runs the risk of going back to college and, you know,
I
don't
think
know.
the Rangers are going to do what they have to do to
Yeah.
get him
No,
here
so do I.
and kind of see
So do
what
I.
he needs to do and stuff. But
And he can help. They need him. If
they
he
do.
can, they need help. So he's
Do you think Crowder plays tomorrow night? Tomorrow?
no.
He's flying with them to Ottawa.
Yeah, I don't think he plays though.
Yeah, I think they should let him sit out as long they don't need him right now. They
He
need him
should
in
not
2
come
weeks.
back until he is like 90% healthy. 80-90% because whatever he's
You're never 100%.
no, that's what I'm saying. So, but whatever he's been playing at, it's not effective. So don't do it.
Right. It's a bad season. It's just a
He's
bad
hurt.
season. And it's one
He's,
of the
he's hurt.
he's definitely hurt. And people want to climb all over him. Oh, this, that, you know, he's hurt. He's
Right.
definitely hurt. I'm sorry. You don't fall off a cliff that substantially, that fast.
Right.
I mean, we've seen guys fall off cliffs. Don't get me wrong. You talked about Adam Graves. We've seen guys do it, but I mean, to go from 39 goals and 37 assists to 17 goals and 4 assists, I mean, that's unheard of.
Right.
But to be fair, the whole team has been bad this year. Everybody's down. Panarin's on pace, Sean, for under 90 points.
Yeah.
I mean, Lafreniere and Trocheck both on pace for less than 50 points.
And you know what? I don't care about what these guys' stats are anymore. Just
No,
win hockey games. I don't. And
no,
it's
like the baseball player that is like at this point in the season, you're not going to hit above 250. So it's impossible to catch up at this point. So just do what you got to do to get what you need where you need to go.
Everything for me reset January 1st.
Yeah.
You not so much you, but a lot of people like kind of laughed at me when I was saying, all right, 3-1 in 2025, 6-2-2 in 2025, and I kept.
Well, you knew they were due for some kind of a run. The question was
I was saying that
they
when
going to
we were
run out
losing.
of gas though?
Why? Why should they run out of gas?
Because it's hard to keep up that kind of pace when you're in, and to have to win all those games. And think about the games they pissed away, and that's what really kills you. They could be in third place in the Metro, Sean. They could be in third place in the Metro.
I still think that's where they're going to wind up.
No,
I do.
I think it's all going to be on
Devils are
contingent.
done.
I think it's all contingent on. Let me ask you this. Sidebar.
Yeah.
Were you shocked that Carolina and the Devils did nothing? I mean, Cody Glass.
What are you talking about? Carolina was the talk of the day.
Yeah, but they got rid of Rantanen, but they didn't replace him.
They got Stankoven.
Who?
They got a 5'7" center.
Wow, he's 5'9", but how that guy keeps his job is what a smack in the face, though.
And how great is it that it's them?
What a smack in the fucking face to Carolina.
But how great is it that it's them? That it happened to them.
I love it.
So do I.
I love it. The only team it could have happened better to was fucking Pittsburgh or Washington.
That room got told, I don't want to play with you guys. That city got told, I don't want to live here.
You know why? And I'm gonna tell you why. I think Rantanen knows that he needs a better supporting cast to be successful. And he sees that roster,
Yeah.
and he knows There's no McKinnon, not even a close guy to
Right.
McKinnon. There's zero. I don't care how good Svechnikov and asshole are. They are not McKinnon. They're not Makar. And by going to Dallas and playing with Harley and playing with Jason Robertson and Wyatt Johnson and all those guys there
Rupe
and
Hintz.
Lindell and Rupe Hintz, that team is a juggernaut in comparison.
And you still didn't
I don't know how.
mention the best
Listen,
player.
I don't know how, and he took less money. But
Yeah.
the
There's no
crazy
state-
part
there's no-
about it
there's no
was,
income
didn't
tax.
Colorado offer him the same contract?
So here's the thing with him. Right. I think he felt that he was going to have the time to negotiate with Colorado. And so, yeah, he turned down their initial deal. And they were like, oh, you turned down 12. Well, then they surprised him with a trade. It wasn't like they made an ultimatum to him. It wasn't like the Ryan Callahan, Glenn Sather, or Zuccarello, Glenn Sather. Take this deal or I'm going to trade you.
What I don't like about this whole thing, and I don't care, I don't care. I don't care what team it is. I don't like that he went there and he sulked and he fucking brought that team down. I don't like when players do that. I don't care what team you play for. I think that is an absolute. He should be embarrassed.
Who said that he sulked?
He was awful there. He was terrible.
I'm saying that could be.
Oh
my
no,
guys
he
adjust.
just but playing. He played poorly.
But a lot of guys have trouble adjusting to new surroundings.
Well, let's see how he plays in Dallas.
Did Marty San Luis come to the Rangers and sulk?
No, he
didn't produce. Right.
He didn't produce. You're right, I guess. Let's see how he plays.
That's what I'm saying. Everything that has been out there.
I'm
about
just saying.
everything
I'm just
has
saying.
been
Like I
other
don't
people
think.
talking. He has
Yeah, I
never said a
guess.
negative word about anything,
Well, he just said it wasn't the right fit in Carolina.
and that's fine. That's his right to say that. I don't fault him for that. I wouldn't want to live in Raleigh. I could go live anywhere. I'm going to live in Raleigh.
I mean, is Dallas, Texas?
You don't think he wanted?
Shangri-La?
You don't think he wanted to play in the same division with Colorado?
I think he wanted to go to a place where he can get no state tax too.
That, and he's got an axe to grind with Colorado now. Absolutely, he was stunned by that trade.
You think? I think it's also that Carolina didn't want to trade him in the East because I think
Yeah,
Toronto was interested too.
But a team was only going to trade for him if they could extend him.
Right, and I think Toronto.
So the return, I'm sure that there were two separate conversations being had by Carolina.
Mhm.
There were teams who were interested in trading for Renton as just purely a rental,
Mhm.
and the return would not have been what Carolina was looking for. Clearly,
Mhm.
because if the return was just going to be a first-round pick and a mid-level prospect, or a first and a third, or something like that,
Mhm.
Carolina's probably like, you know what, we'd rather just keep him for our own rental, as our own rental.
Right.
They wanted, to save face on the fact that they gave away Natchez for nothing. And
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean they did recoup assets. The problem is that they recouped futures and not.
right, Stankoven's not Natchez. He's a solid. He's a solid.
Well, they got
young
futures.
player.
They didn't get a guy that's going to really help them significantly now. I mean, they didn't get a Rantanen. They
Right.
got futures. They'll be able to turn around and maybe move those. They're going to have to find guys, and again, I don't give a fuck about Carolina, to be honest with you. But they're going to have to find guys that are under long-term contracts, and that's because they can't get guys to stay there.
Well, they can get their own guys to stay there. I don't understand why they didn't keep Natchez. Natchez wanted to stay, so I don't understand why that never happened.
I think there was a beef with the contract. I think that there was sour grapes.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
on
They're
his
willing to
account.
pay somebody. How did you not pay him? He's great.
He was playing great. I guess anyone can play with Nathan McKinnon, right?
No,
Drew?
he was playing great for them.
Yeah,
He was over a point a game for them this year.
yeah, he was good. I'll tell you who's smarter than Colorado right now. They're going for it, man. I mean, Brock Nelson,
And Charlie Coyle.
Charlie Coyle. Thank God he's gone, right? Aren't you happy
Yep.
he's gone? I was started laughing when he
The
was
two
traded. I'm like,
teams,
Oh, my
that to me
God.
that beefed themselves up. The three teams, because you got Dallas obviously now with Rantanen, but it was kind of like, oh, okay, we're going back to a couple of years ago. Here is Colorado and Tampa. Tampa did a lot.
well, they got Yanni Gordon, Bjorkstrand. Who else did they got?
I'm saying, but those are two guys that's two huge depth pieces. Huge depth pieces.
Okay.
They went from not having a third line to having a really good third line.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
huge. What other moves did they make? They made
I
other
don't think
moves
that
too.
no, I don't think so. I don't think Tampa got anything. I think that was it. And that was a few days ago they made that trade. A lot of trades were made early, Sean. A lot of moves. I thought today the trades kind of dribbed and dragged up until the last possible minute. They were still announcing trades at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I saw that.
Um, I think that the all like the silly like nonsense trades they left. I think to the end. If you notice, it was all those like prospect trades, like the Brandstrom trade for Kubel.
Right.
Um, again, I mean, as far as the Rangers go, I think this offseason we're finally going to see some fireworks. I mean, I can't imagine them going into again another offseason where you're bringing back the same exact team. And we're going to know early on if Keandre Miller is going to be re-signed, right? I mean, you got to think that at some point you're gonna hear something, right?
Probably.
I mean, if
Well, he's arbitration eligible, so I mean,
I
yeah,
know, but I mean, so was Lindgren, and you heard nothing about an extension for him. It was dead
true.
quiet on him the whole summer
It's true.
up until he signed that 1 year extension. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Just got to get through the next 20 games and kind of see what
Yeah.
happens. And it just does suck that in the sense where if they don't make the play, you know what it is, Sean. It's just you just my feeling is I just don't think they're good enough to beat any of these teams. So I don't know.
I expect nothing different from you.
I just don't. I mean, I just think when the chips are on the table, the only caveat I will say is with them being the underdog, with them being not being the favorite, might actually benefit them.
Does this not feel like 2014 in a little bit? It does for me.
It feels more like 2012.
2012, didn't they win the President's Trophy?
No, they won the President's Trophy in 15. They didn't win the President's
We
Trophy.
were we weren't the 1 seed in 2012.
Game 7. They played Philly in the first round, right?
No,
No.
Washington.
Oh, no, that's right. They played Philly in the first round
Washington,
in 12.
Ottawa, and then Washington.
No, they weren't because they played Game 7 was in Washington.
Why do you think 2012?
Wait, am I thinking about? Wait, hold on a minute. No, they played Ottawa in the first round in 2012.
Yeah,
So they were the higher seed, but were they the 1 seed? Because they played Game 7 at home. All right. Yeah, they did. I was at that game. Were they the 1 seed in 12?
I'm embarrassed that
I don't know
I
now.
don't know this for sure, right?
I don't. Well, they were the home. They had the home ice every series.
Yeah, we finished first in the Atlantic.
Wow. We did. Wow, I didn't know that. I forgot.
We had 109 points.
Wow.
We finished just behind Vancouver. Had 111.
That's right. Holy shit, that's fucking right. They just missed out on the President's Trophy that
Yeah.
year. That was Richard's first season.
Yeah.
Fuck. Do you remember who they added at that trade deadline?
Wasn't that the Klo trade deadline? No.
No,
Volchek, Volsky.
No,
Yeah. Volsky was on the roster.
he didn't play though.
9 games.
Into playoffs?
Oh, I didn't see the playoffs.
No, they traded him. They traded him before that. They traded him before that. I'm trying to think who was on that.
I guess nobody, because I mean it's Fedotenko.
They tried getting Nash. They got John Scott. I think that was the only trade deadline piece they got. And I believe that was when they were trying to get Nash. And they wanted too much, and they wound up getting Nash that offseason. But I think John Scott was their only significant piece they got at the trade deadline that year.
I mean, this roster looks like pretty much everybody played, at least 60 games. So
they tried. I know they tried. it was funny because the year prior they tried to get Richards at the trade deadline, and they wanted up signing him as a free agent. And then in the next summer they tried next trade deadline tried to get Nash, and they got Nash in the offseason that following year.
Right.
And I want to say in 13, I don't think in 13, I don't think they made a trade either. Oh no, they traded Gabrick in 13. In 13, they traded Gabrick, and they got it. They brought in Clo, Brassard, John Moore. They brought in those 4 guys, and they traded out Gabrick. That trade deadline, and obviously we know who they brought in on 14.
Right.
But it's never been. It's very rarely had they brought in like, 5 pieces. It's usually been 1 or 2 guys. It was only that. I mean, only that one off season where they brought in Vetrano and Kopp and Mott and Braun. That's very rare.
Right.
And then obviously the next year they brought in Tarasenko and Mott again, and they brought another 4 guys, and that didn't work. But usually it's when they went on those runs, it's been like 1 guy. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. I got to clock out. My throat is killing me.
I got it, pal. All right. So this worked out well. We'll have to just figure out where we're going to go from here.
We'll figure this out.
We'll chat and figure out where we're going to go from here. All right?
Sounds good, guys.
All right.
Thanks for joining.
Good night. Thank you.